The main goal of the Psyche mission is to go explore a kind of world that humans have never seen before. We've explored rocky worlds like the Moon and Mars, and we've explored worlds made of gas and worlds made of ice. But we think that Psyche is made mostly of metal. So this will be the first time humans will ever see a small world made of metal. We think it is probably parts of the core of a little planet that was destroyed very early in the solar system. So it's also the only way we will ever see a core. That's the purpose. There are so many chances of the ways that different bodies early in the solar system could interact. And maybe Psyche's parent body crashed into the growing Earth, but then pieces were shattered off and ended up in the asteroid belt, where they are protected from the rocky planets by the gravity of Jupiter. The asteroid belt is a sort of a refuge for the leftover pieces that didn't become parts of the planets. During planet formation, I think your point is that there will be many small pieces around in the solar system that were not yet part of the planets. Yes, that's so. The craters of the moon came later, and we're not actually even really sure exactly why they happened. Something disturbed something in the solar system and sent impactors into the inner solar system. But yes, there were many, many small bodies during planet formation, and gradually as the planets became big enough, our Earth and Mars and Venus, they cleared their orbits out because their gravity was so large that it either attracted the other pieces or flung them away. And that's how the planets cleared out where they were. The main thing for me about Psyche mission is that it's about fundamental science. It's not about the economics of the future. And so many people have been very excited to learn more about Psyche because of resources. But a very important thing to tell everyone is we do not yet know what it's made of. We think it's largely made of metal, but we don't know. And so the purpose of going is to find out. And then if later people decide that there's the possibility of resources, I think that's wonderful. At the moment, we do not have the technology to bring back significant material from so far away. And even if we did, the economics don't work at all. It's much more expensive to bring it than it is to use it here on Earth. And so talking about Psyche as a resource is so far in the distant future that even though I'm very enthusiastic about that, it's not at all realistic. This is a mystery that has really intrigued a lot of scientists, that we measure in the rocks on the moon that the moon used to have a magnetic field. And we think of a magnetic field like on the Earth as being formed in our liquid metal core. And the moon has a core, but it's very tiny. And so one possibility we thought was that the magnetic field on the moon could have been caused by the action of the moon having been melted during the impact that formed the moon and then crystallizing, and that materials that come out of that crystallization process could themselves create a magnetic field. So it's a little different idea. And I think the idea of a magma ocean is very poetic. Something I want to share with the world is the knowledge that we have now that all of our rocky planets, as they were forming, went through so many giant impacts as they formed larger and larger. Each of those giant impacts melted the Earth or Venus or Mars or Mercury to quite a great depth. And so each of our planets was several times just a ball of liquid magma in space. And then it solidified and became the habitable world we have now. I'm so passionate about this. The educational system we have in the Western world, in fact in most of the world, was designed specifically to make a compliant industrial workforce, to create passive learners who were then obeying and able to give material back onto tests and would do what was needed for industry. This is not the world we live in anymore. We live in the information age where information is everywhere, and what we need to learn in school is not necessarily just to memorize something and then give it on a test, which I think are skills you never need again and maybe shouldn't learn in the first place, but instead to understand, how do I ask my own question that will best lead me toward answers? How do I find the information and decide whether it's good or bad? So this is what we're doing. We're launching a brand new undergraduate degree at Arizona State University, and the company Beagle Learning, we're spreading this methodology as far as we can, because I think what we need is a society of problem solvers who feel that they have the agency to take action in their world, and that's what education should be.